Imagine business and community powerhouses leaning in with mentorships and sponsorships.
Imagine a world where students can participate in programs they love while obtaining their degree and promoting the institution.
Imagine LeMoyne-Owen College as that institution that lays the foundation for higher education and lifelong learning.
Take a look and you'll see into your imagination.
Imagine the world with Olympic champions, NCAA champions, conference champions, and LeMoyne-Owen champions.
With a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation.
Where would I be without LLC?
Imagine a world where every student has endless possibilities to participate in a plethora of programming that shapes them holistically.
Imagine a world where we'll have our next student athlete be an NBA or WNBA All-Star.
Imagine a world where students gave back to the college that gave so much to them.
Imagine a world with endless resources and support systems for our students to be the best versions of themselves.
Imagine a world where every student who aspired to a higher education was afforded one, and the entire campus came together to support their success. Wouldn't that be magic? LeMoyne-Owen College. There's magic happening here.
Okay. Let's stand, everyone. Good evening. We're here one final time to wrap up the 807-day Giving Telethon. And I'm here with a number of alumni, some staff who have helped make this happen. So before we give you the final tally, I want to talk to some folks, and I want to tell you about what this road has been. We'll also have some thank yous because you can't pull off something like this without everyone coming together. And although the telethon, and I thought about it last year, it was about raising monies for the college, but there's something else that happened as a result that was almost as awesome as raising those monies, and it was establishing a team across the campus, across the community, with corporations and with the alumni, a team, everybody coming together to serve the college. These are some of the products of what LeMoyne-Owen College produces. And throughout the telethon, throughout the telethon, I've been asking individuals to tell us what's your LOC story, to tell us how you imagine LeMoyne-Owen College. We all know it's a great institution, but if you could decide what the future was going to be like, if you could decide what's the next step to advance LeMoyne-Owen College, what would that be? What are your stories? Who wants to tell me, how do you reimagine LOC? Why did you choose LOC? You all have stories.
Family institution. A family institution.
Family institution. Anyone else? Why did you choose LeMoyne-Owen College?
I was offered a full scholarship here at the LOC, And it was one of the best moves I ever made because they didn't prepare me just for a job. They prepared me for life. And that's crucial when you are trying to find your way in the world. They didn't allow us to make excuses. They nurtured us, but they held us responsible, accountable. And it began, it was beginning, you didn't know it then, but a lifelong relationship. And I'm more than appreciative. Words can't really express how much LeMoyne's meant to me in developing into who I am today.
And let's talk about who you are today, Judge-elect. Since you mentioned that, tell us a little more.
I'm Cedric Wooten. I graduated class of 1992. I am Judge-elect of Circuit Court Division 6 here in Shelby County. The foundation of who I am started, of course, in my neighborhood, Orange Mound, Melrose, and it was capped off here as I became a young man and I met some dynamic and amazing professors and teachers here on this campus who really, really tapped into, made me realize what my potential was. And not just getting the work done, but nurturing me into becoming the young man that I am when I became to be, I've become to be, I should say.
Thank you for that. Anyone else want to tell us your story? Why LeMoyne-Owen College?
I'm Janice Hill Williams. The way I ended up at LeMoyne-Owen College, my two best friends was a year ahead of me at Manassas High School, Frankie Morris and Ava Hurd. And they came over to the school when everybody used to say every time they looked up, I was cutting classes at Manassas and was on LeMoyne-Owen campus. And so I was impressed with the things that was going on at LeMoyne-Owen. But it was LeMoyne when I entered into the college because that was the last year that I graduated, that it was called LeMoyne College. That was in 1968. And I was so impressed after I got here. I mean, Dr. Holly Price, as a president, when we got the tickets saying we were financially not up to par, we had to be kicked out of class. But Dr. Holly Price, he didn't let us go. He told them, no, we could stay. And that was one thing that stuck with me, and we talk about that all the time, because they used to send a little note around everything and said that you're financially behind. But Dr. Price would hold that on and let us stay in class. And after graduating from LeMoyne-Owen, I went on and I taught elementary ed. But then LeMoyne-Owen taught me with the nurturing and nurturing and taking care. So I went and got my master in guidance. And so I started with other kids in the school system. And after serving 32 years, I retired from Sherwood Middle School as a counselor. And I always impress, and I still come over and mentor to these students at LeMoyne-Owen College because my heart is LeMoyne-Owen College and my hope for the future. I just hope we can recruit and get other students, and we need to get out and let everybody know this HBCU school is in Memphis. And your best choice is to choose LeMoyne-Owen College.
There you have, straight from Miss Janice's mouth. Okay, so we've got decades of magicians here. So how many of you who graduated in the 2000s or higher? One person. 1990s or higher. 80s. 70s. 60s. What class, Miss Janice?
68, 1968.
Oh, I've heard about the class of 68. What class?
1967.
67. Tell me your fondest LOC memory, class of 67. My fondest memory was March having my graduation in front of Brown Lee Hall on our lovely campus. I've heard about those. Second year generation LeMoyne graduate.
7 generations.
Yes.
7 generations. Miss
Class to graduate.
on the lawn. Miss Janice, what's your fondest LOC memory?
My father's LLC memory. Well, you already won't hear that. But I just enjoyed the friendship and the nurturing that I got while I was here at LeMoyne-Owen. And my fondest memory was when I worked in the bookstore at LeMoyne-Owen College. George can't remember. They had to come down and get their books and everything. And by working in the bookstore, I was able to communicate with just about all the students on campus. And that was my fun. I enjoyed working in a bookstore. And I was able to mingle and talk to the majority of the students on campus by working in the bookstore.
Thank you. So I want to say some thank yous. There's some folks who have been working some long days, and I know once I start naming names, I'm probably going to forget someone, but there's so many people who came to make this happen that I need to take a stab at it. So let's start with advancement. Julie, Derek, Sheila. Advancement, come on up. Let's thank these folks. Come on up. Office of Advancement. Responsible for securing volunteers, helping run the call center, helping with all the planning from on the stage to over at Bass Pro. You all did it all. Thank you. Appreciate your hard work. OIT. As long as the telethon has been going on, that means OIT folks have been here working. So that means longer than 12 hours, simply because we have to get started early, got to get set up and everything. So Gavin, Ebube, thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you. Aladdin Food Services, all of the volunteers who work the call center. Who am I forgetting? Facilities. Oh my goodness, the cashiers. The cashiers. Give me some. Who's in there? Miss Ward, Kirsten. Who else? There's one other person. Yes, facilities. Anthony, Mr. Chapman, Miss Monday.
Yeah, I met Miss Monday.
Oh, the Bass Pro. I think production 1. Oh, fabulous job. The alumni who headlined at the Bass Pro, he was excellent. Bard Williams. Of course, the Board of Trustees, Canadian Pacific, Lowe's, Beta Epsilon Omega for the $25,000 endowment. Christ Missionary Baptist Church, Middle Baptist. Yeah, I got them. Then those organizations that answered the challenge, the Deltas, the Zetas, the Omegas, everyone who came and co-hosted, even some we recruited this week when I had some emergency meetings and had to step away. Thank you to those. Thank you, really appreciate you. The individuals who decided they'd come and give a testimony, that was important too. We added a segment that focused on the faculty and staff, because you hear all these wonderful stories about the experiences that the alumni had, and without fail, you talk about how you were impacted by a faculty or staff member. So we added that, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger each year. So, down to the numbers, I know that's what you've been waiting for. So last year, we wanted to get to 6 figures, and we did. We got to 101, which was fabulous our first year out. This year we said we just want to exceed last year's number. Last night we had exceeded last year's number. That was fabulous. Now checks are still coming in. For example, last year we raised 101, but we finished raising for last year. We raised another 24,000. So after the telethon, checks were still coming in. Individuals were still texting and giving online. So we know that this number is going to grow. So our figure for this year is, drum roll, $139,625.14. That's what you did. And that number will likely grow another $20,000, $25,000 just as it did last year. So you know next year's goal is going to be 200,000, and we can and we will do it. Now, the alumni made a presentation earlier, and I want you all to come on up so we can get that on camera. It is included in the figure. Our system, we had some crazy weather, and so the system has gone down, so we had to stop. We didn't have access to see where we are, but at the last count, we were at the 139, so we know that number, we're probably above 140. But that was the last number we could confirm. And the alumni, who was the spokesperson?
The National Alumni Association has donated $1,500 to our alma mater to ensure that our students, our community is well represented in Memphis, Tennessee.
And this is just a down payment, if you will. We challenge every alumni who hasn't given yet to make a donation so that we can ensure the future of other magicians and we can share in the magic at 807 Walker.
Thank you. Now, I think there's one person I left out, and I don't know if I mentioned you, Marcus. So, Marcus, come on stage. Okay, so Marcus is set the design. Marcus is producer. Marcus is everything, all the digital imagery, all the videos. He did the commercial. He did all of that. What you don't know, many of you don't know, Marcus used to be my music student about, 20 years ago? Yes, Marcus can sing. Over 20 years ago, and he's made such a great impact on the presentation of our marketing. Marcus is actually now our Executive Director of Marketing and Brand Management. And so we appreciate all that you've done, especially me. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Keep those donations coming, and we'll see you next year. Good night.